insecure. It's like London buses. You wait forever for one, then two show up together. Yes, folks, I'm back once again with another pickups video. And to all you guys who watched, commented and liked the previous one I did last week, thank you very much. I enjoyed making it and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and hopefully there'll be a few more pickups videos down the line, and there may even be some console unboxings if you're very good boys and girls. And we're going to kick things off straight away. As you can see, I've got quite a lot to get through, and we're going to start with... They say good things come in small packages, and we're going to see if there's any truth to that statement, because I thought this was a USB stick, but as that arrived yesterday, I generally have no idea what's in this, and the suspense is now killing me. So let's open it up and see what I completely forgotten I bought this. This is a Sega Mega Drive RGB SCART cable. Nothing particularly exciting there, except for perhaps this for the stereo socket. Yes folks, all my retro consoles are hooked up through SCART, but I decided to pick this one up as a way of improving the sound quality. But let's be honest here, the Mega Drive wasn't exactly famed for its musical capabilities, now was it? And we go on to the next one, which is Sega game. Woohoo! It is Jungle Strike, the sequel to Desert Strike, one of the best games on the Mega Drive back in its day. It is complete, thankfully. I love this game. I had all three. The third one is called Urban Strike, but I sold them some years ago and I've been looking to get them back in the collection, so very happy to get that one. Are we ready, Stanley? Right. We have, looks like a Wii game. Yep. As you can see, I've been buying quite a few recently, and it is Super Monkey Ball. What is it? Step and Roll. Yeah, there was quite a few sequels to Super Monkey Ball, one of the best games. I think the first one was a GameCube exclusive, I forget now, but yeah, brilliant, brilliant title. And another Sega game, it feels like. And it is... Open it, and it's been wrapped in a newspaper. Lovely stuff. Oh, I think it's a Master System game. The tension is building. It is, ta-da! It is Meep Meep, the Roadrunner in Desert Speed Trap. Yes. Well, in the 8 and 16-bit era, a lot of Walt Disney games became very, very popular and are still so to this day. The Warner Brothers cartoons, however, the Looney Tunes, there was quite a few games for their different characters, mostly for side characters like Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner, and I think even... what was his name? The mouse. Speedy Gonzales. I think even Speedy Gonzales had a game. But yeah, there was no great Mickey Mouse games. Probably the best games that would come from the sort of Looney Tunes stable would be the Tiny Toons, which were quite popular in the early 90s. And we have, which might just be a SNES game. Ooh. I think, have I ever unboxed the SNES game on camera before? Is this the first time? And it is Japanese game. It is Romancing Saga 2. Now, you guys probably won't be all that familiar with the Romancing Saga series, but the follow-up series to this was called Saga Frontier on the PlayStation 1. I think the series is still going. They tend to rename it for each and every generation. Fantastic Squaresoft RPG. Obviously all Japanese, but hey-ho. I can read a little bit of Japanese, and if I find a few more Japanese games, I might show that off to you. Yeah, DS game. Ooh, we have Professor Layton. Which one is this? And the Lost Future. I couldn't tell you which one this is. There's quite a few of these Professor Layton games. I quite enjoyed the first one when that was sort of still somewhat new. But I'm a big fan of Phoenix Wright, and there was a little crossover game between the two characters. And I've been trying to sort of go back and play these. Yeah, lots of brain teasers in this one. And this one is Yet more Sega goodness. Anyone would think I was some sort of Sega fan. We have Blockout for the Sega Mega Drive. 3D Tetris, basically. I'm trying to think, is this actually a Sega game? Probably not, as it's distributed by Electronic Arts. That's before their name was dragged through the mud. We have, I mentioned, I've not unboxed that many SNES games on camera before. I don't think I've unboxed many of these either, yeah. Game Gear games. Boxed Complete Echo the Dolphin. I do like the Sega Game Gear. I've got a couple of them, although they are starting to develop little problems. Basically, it's a handheld master system, so if you're familiar with Sega's 8-bit console, then you should get on just fine with the handheld. And next one. Sega game? I hope it is. A classic, the old core design platformer, Chuck Rock. Debuted on the Amiga and ST, I think, before getting its big break on console. Oh, not complete. Bummer. But yeah, excellent game, and I've got a funny feeling. I've got a funny feeling I know what this thing is. Don't know how I'm gonna open this. Now, I mentioned in my last video that I'd become somewhat of a fan of a particular Japanese franchise. And yes, we're back on that thing. We're back on Yokai Watch. Now, before I've got my knife, I'm going to leave that. Now, before you guys start rolling your eyes, just let me say that I am not obsessed with Yokai Watch at all. I do not go out and buy every little thing I can find that has the name emblazoned upon it. I am still a hardcore gamer you all know and love. I'll shut my mouth now. And we come to... looks like a double feature. It is. Oh, it's a triple feature. It is. I had a bunch of Sega games. I think I'm going to have to call this the Sega Pickups video. It is. Oh boy. Mystic Defender. Now I'm going to have to take a quick look at the back of this because this, I got a little bit confused with this. I thought this was another game. This is a follow-up to Spellcaster on the Sega Master System, but I actually thought it was a sort of scrolling beat-em-up with some kabuki guy. I can't remember the name of it. That's why I got mixed up. But yeah, this is an excellent game. I had the Japanese version, which came under a different title, but yeah, now I've got the PAL release, so yeah. And the first Tasmania game for the Sega Master System. One cool feature about the Tasmania games that not a lot of people know of is that across all Sega platforms, I'm talking about the 16-bit Mega Drive, the 8-bit Master System, of course the Game Gear, there was 3 completely different versions of Tasmania. They didn't simply just port the Mega Drive version down to the 8 bits. So yeah, it's worth picking this up if you have it on the Mega Drive already. Super Tennis. Now, I'm not a big sports games fan, but there are a few exceptions to that rule, and one of them is this one, Super Tennis. More out of nostalgia than it being a great game, because this was actually the first title I ever bought for my Sega Master System. Sega Master System had a 2-tier system. They had cheap Ranger games that were £10, and they had the main releases, which were around £30. So obviously I went the cheap route. Now we have, could it be Shock of Shocks? Could it be, if I can get out the back, could it be another Sega game? Yes folks, it's Kawasaki Superbikes. I'm not all that familiar with this. I've got a funny feeling this is based on an arcade machine, and I think I'm right in saying that this may have also been on the Super Nintendo. Like I say, I'm not all that knowledgeable when it comes to sports games, but yeah, it looks pretty decent. I don't mind driving games all that much, although I don't like the realistic ones. I prefer my driving games to be a bit more arcadey. We have I think there's something in it. Ooh, another Super Nintendo game, and it is. Now you might say you're not familiar with the Dragon Knight series, and I believe you, even if nobody else does. Yeah, the Dragon Knight series, and it's got a nice little protective case as well, which is nice. Yeah, the Dragon Knight series started out on Japanese exclusive home computers like the Sharp-X 68000 and the NEC range of computers. Basically, they were hentai games, or sort of softcore porn games. But they got tidied up and toned down and ported to a number of home consoles. And this is part 4 by Elf. Yeah, again, all in Japanese, but I can read a little bit of it. I just can't read kanji. And we have, back to the Sega games. Oh my good lord, look at the state of that. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It's by US Gold. I don't remember the seller telling me it was in as bad shape as that. It is the action game. Yeah, I finished this when I first got this. Oh god, way back in the early 90s. But although it was short, I remember it being pretty good, so I picked it up again. We've got a suspiciously light box here. But it has come to us from, where has it come? It's come from Japan. I thought this might have come from Hong Kong, actually. I wonder what it could be. I bought so much stuff that I genuinely couldn't tell you what is in any of these packages. It is something very small. What the hell is that? Oh! We're gonna keep the Nintendo theme going with this. It is, let me try and say that, it is TM Network Live in Powerball. I genuinely have no clue what this is. If I had to take a wild stab in the dark, I think this is a video game based on some 80s Japanese pop group. At least that's what I'm getting from looking at the pictures on the back of the box. I picked this up thinking it might be one of those sort of text adventures like Famicom Detective Club or something like that. Yeah, I might give that a bash later and see if it is at all playable with my limited Japanese. I'm making quite a mess here. And we are going to look at the Sega game. I said I didn't like sports games, and then I go out and buy another one. Yeah, this is Super High Impact. Is this a Genesis game? It is indeed. This is an American release. I'm trying to think now off the top of my head. Did it get a PAL release? Yes, I think it did. Yeah, for some reason, these American football games were actually pretty popular here. Like the early John Madden games and Joe Montana games, they were always getting really high scores in the video game magazines. And a lot of my friends had them and used to play them, even though they did not care one jot for the sport. I picked this up just because it was cheap. It does look more arcadey than like any kind of like sports stimulation. It does have an arcade machine on the back of the box, so I assume it is probably a little bit more playable, probably more reminiscent of them kind of SNK kind of football games than a lot of what you'd find on I think. And I'm gonna show you one more thing, which isn't video game related, but it may well become so. And what I mean by that is, I also picked up a big stack of. Actually, let me just grab a few. Anime magazines that I used to read back in the 90s. Here we have Anime UK, and we have a whole bunch of these Manga Mania magazines. Yes, folks, long before the internet came along, these things, magazines, were our windows into manga, video games, and everything else we were interested in. And the reason why I'm showing them off here, when I know a lot of you aren't into all this kind of stuff, is because I do have a reasonable collection of video game magazines. And I was wondering, very nice, I was wondering if any of you guys might like to see my collections of Sega Power, Sega Force, Mean Machines, maybe a few lesser known magazines that I kind of like Ray's or the Games Machine. Yeah, I do like going back and sort of thumbing through a lot of these kind of old magazines. A lot of them I did read when I was younger, but I think I mentioned in my previous pickups video that I lost some items in a house move. Well, it wasn't some items, it was quite a lot of stuff. Doing a lot of video game magazines, well, a lot of magazines in general, a lot of comics, and it's taken a few years to sort of build a collection back up again. But yeah, very happy to get that. So very happy to get a lot of these games. Definitely want to be trying a few of them out now. So, yeah, I think that's about it. I do have a few more packages just off camera to my left. They're starting to pile up, so I will be filming a few more pickups videos, hopefully in the not too distant future, next couple of days. I uploaded a PSP video called Corpse Party in the early hours of this morning. I don't know if you guys have checked that out, but yeah, if you have, let me know what you think, and let me know what you'd like to see me do with these. Is there any games I've unboxed here that you'd like to see me make videos on? So my name's Gray, this is Consoletronix, this is my second pickups video in the space of a week. Yeah, there will definitely be more whether you like it or not, because yeah, there's a few more stuff, and yeah, my postman is starting to give me funny looks, so I might have to start just sort of toning things down a bit, but yeah, there will still be coming. So anyway, I'm just starting to ramble, so I'll let you guys get away. So thank you very much for watching. I'll have some more videos up very soon. Goodbye.